Hi, boys and girls. Let's take a look at a lesson on prime and composite numbers. Have your notes ready to go and be ready to listen and learn. Prime numbers are numbers that have exactly two factors, and those factors will always be the number 1 and itself. So our very first prime number, if we were to go in chronological order, that's number order, would be 2, because the only factors 2 has is 1 and 2, 1 times 2. The next prime number would be 3. Its factors are 1 and 3. 4 would not be prime because it's got 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. So what do you think our next prime number would be? The next prime number would be 5 because its factors are 1 in itself, 1 and 5. And then we have not 6 because 6 has more than 2 factors, 1 and 6 and 2 and 3. So the next one would be 7. So I think about it in order. So I have a strategy or a system for figuring out which ones are prime. And now let's look at the composite. Composite numbers are numbers that have more than 2 factors. So in most cases, numbers have either exactly 2 factors or more than 2 factors. So our first example, if we go in number order, would be the number 4 is a composite number because its factors are 1 and 4, and then 2 times 2. And I don't have to list the 2 times when I'm making a list of factors. Okay, I can already see that 5 is on the prime side because it only has 2 factors. So in order, after 5, I'm going to be thinking 6. The factors of 6 are 1 and 6, and 2 and 3. 7 I can see is prime, so my next one would be 8. And those factors are 1 and 8, and 2 times 4. Okay, so you can see the numbers I've listed as examples have more than 2 factors. The next one on my list would be the number 9. 9, sometimes we have to stop and think because you're thinking, oh, it's odd, it's prime. No, 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 no. Because remember, the factors of 9 are 1 times 9 and then 3 times 3. So the number 9 does have more than 2 factors. All right, so here's a question as we examine our examples. What is the only even prime number? So let's look back up at the prime numbers. Even means 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. And if we look here, 2 will be the only even prime number. That's just because it has exactly 2 factors. All the other even numbers like 4 and 6 and 8, they're always going to have more than 2 factors. 1 in itself plus 2. 1 in itself and 2. 1 in itself and 2. 2 times something else to get that number. All right, the second thing we need to examine is 1 prime or composite. Where do you see it on our list? I don't see it on either. So 1 is neither prime nor composite. I wonder why. Well, if we think about the factors of 1, because prime and composite has to do with how many factors of a number has, what are the factors of 1 if I were to make a list? 1. That's it. 1 times 1 is 1. So would that fit under my definition of prime numbers? Numbers that have exactly 2 factors? No. Would it fit under my definition of composite numbers? Numbers that have more than 2 factors? No. So the reason why 1 is neither prime nor composite is it doesn't fit either definition. That's why. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a practice. So your next page in your notes should be a list of numbers, and I'm going to want you to determine if they're prime or composite. So let's start again by refreshing what a prime number is. Prime numbers have exactly 2 factors, And composite numbers have more than 2 factors. So our first number on the list is 15. Let's start by listing factors of 15. 1 and 15, 3 and 5. Since it fits the definition of a composite, it has more than 2 factors, it is a composite number. So go ahead, finish this list of numbers, and we will talk about it in class.